Some days you play Slinger and your survivors are absolute darlings, delighting in your long shots like an ice climber scaling Bone Mountain. Then there's the queef quesadilla our resident cop Slinger ran into. It started out like any other match, getting chucked into a Batum preschool map with a heart full of dreams and a build that was a tiny bit trolly. See, Slinger was running Save the Best for last, paired with Dark Devotion. Essentially, our Slinger-dinger would occasionally sacrifice a sliver of the Stabiffle tokens for an incognito meetup with one of the other survivors. In this case, we had dueling Cheryls and Quentins, all using the exact same fashion accessories. One of the Quentins was the Obsession, so when Slinger wasn't giving him a quick muzzle to the buzzle, he was avoiding him like the co-worker in the office that microwaves last night's salmon and broccoli. This primarily left the Cheryls in perils, and considering they were gen running buddies, and Slinger was running Discordance, this led to a series of outrageous long shots, leaving one Cheryl on the line, and the other one sprint bursting in a panic, presumably well-soiled and vomiting more obscenities than a 6-year-old Fortnite player. Occasionally the Quentins would come in and Slinger would give them a quick tip of the hat, collect his Stabiffle stacks, and harpoon the other Cheryl harder than your mom last night. One of the Quentins started to catch on, tugged their britches up to their belly button, and began body blocking the bejesus out of the Slinger. Fully stacked, Slinger obliged to take a hit and proceeded to jump scare the Cheryl pair yet again. The non-obsession Quentin decided to go do generators solo, and while Slinger was cackling like a witch on a vibrating broom, Quentin was popping gens. Slinger finally tossed a Cheryl on a hook as the last gen popped and was content trying to make trick shots as the Quentins combined powers to unhook that Cheryl and get her out of there. One Quentin unhooks while the other one gets reeled in like an emo fish. Slinger isn't a train, so he avoids the tunnel and instead goes for the fresh Quentin, since he's been avoiding him all game despite Quentin batting his eyelashes and giving him his best come hither. Will he lose his Stabiffle stacks? Yes. But will it be fun? You bet your goth ass it is. Slinger spends the remainder of the match attempting some 360 no-scope shots through the slats and all manner of miscellaneous pew-pews until the survivors are finally through the gate and on their way home. Our Slinger reclines in his chair, throws out a quick GG, and checks out the builds. It was at this time that the Obsession Quentin made a few implications into Slinger's mom's current occupation, as well as insinuating that he was currently playing out of the resident McDonald's dumpster as a result of his failure to secure a kill. Of course, the language was much saltier than this, but YouTube and TikTok somehow have higher standards than Quentin. Slinger leaned forward, his fingers dangling over his keyboard, prepared to give Quentin exactly what he was asking for. GGWP. Evidently, the Quentin was quite displeased with this display of blatant disrespect and quickly informed the Slinger that his courage was comprised entirely of kittens. Of course, Slinger could not let this stand. He was a most courageous man, although he was a big fan of the kittens in question. Once again, he readied the keyboard, this time elaborating a bit more than his previous abbreviations. You played great. Good luck on your next match. The Slinger had clearly insulted not only Quentin, but his ancestors before him. Not the mutated brontosaurus face Quentins, obviously. This was a much shorter line of succession. Still, Quentin was incensed and must respond to this indignity. Unfortunately for him, behavior does not allow that kind of language and kindly blurs it out, which honestly adds more fuel to the fire, and Quentin is quickly launching into another asterisk-ridden tirade before he finally signs off, letting Slinger know that the best he could hope for tonight in regards to intimacy is a little bit of trouser entertainment brought to you in part by the Slinger's numb hands. Slinger finds this idea amenable, and after clicking the old thumbs down, he heads off to do just that, only to find that his wife is in the bedroom watching The Big Bang Theory for the 484th time. He briefly contemplates divorce before playing a few more games of Dead by Daylight, because even getting lit up by Freddy's Jersey Shore vampire reject is better than listening to Sheldon Cooper and the gang incorrectly play Dungeons & Dragons. A short while later, Slinger receives a notification that karma has been served.